here we go. Let's take a look at the level 8 technical drawing. As you can see, it's fairly complicated. We are going to have at least 2 views with hidden geometry in them. Looking from the top, we're definitely going to see this kind of Z shape, although it's not going to look like a Z in the top view. We're going to see a rectangle here, we're going to see a rectangle here, and we're going to see a rectangle here. Because again, we're imagining looking down from the top in a straight line, and anything that light can hit as it comes down is going to be in that top view. Conversely, from the side view, we are going to see this interesting shape right here. We are going to see this, which may look like a rectangle, it may look like a square. And we're going to see some hidden geometry so that we can see this part of the object behind that front plane. From the front view, we are going to see this rectangle here, and we're going to see a number of other surfaces that are both hidden and exposed to us. First things first, name class date with guidelines all caps. Next thing we want to do is draw the footprint of the top view. We're also going to notice it's not going to be rectangular this time. There's going to be a part that we can't see. And what's more, in the isometric, there would be hidden geometry showing us that this part continues to there, and that that part continues this way, and that this part continues this way. But the reason it's not in the isometric view is because that hidden geometry is not going to show up in either the in either the top, side, or front views. The isometric contains only the hidden geometry that we need to know about in order to do these 3 drawings. So let's start with the top view. Going to create a nice parallel horizontal line for the base of that view. And we're going to want to make sure that we have measured it so that all of these measurements show us that they're 1/2 inch apart. So what is the overall length of the top view? Well, we're going to have to surmise that based on the minimum amount of information that was given here. 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1/2 inch is 2 inches. We can also take our ruler and actually measure this, although I'm not sure if in the packet that you have, if you print it out, whether it will actually print to that scale. So I've gone ahead and made marks every 1/2 inch for 2 inches. Next, I'm going to check out the depth of the top view, which is 1.5 inches, because we have 3 segments 1/2 inch apart. This is basic math. And we can go ahead and drop that down into the side view. And we'll do the same thing here. Eyeballing my parallelness, but you can always measure it yourself. And once again, measuring those 3 1/2 inch segments. Great. Now I can start to figure out what is the geometry of that top view. I know that this part here sticks out 1/2 inch, and then it's going to come in 1/2 inch, and then it's going to go up a whole inch. That's going to be a straight edge to the back corner, and then this is going to come up to the front corner in a straight line. So we're going to sort of see a 1.5 inch square with a little 1/2 inch part sticking off. From the top, we can see that we've got these 2 angled parts like that, and this Z shape that we found earlier, plus this little sloped part on the front. We're going to drop all these lines down, of course. First, let's just measure along the bottom to make sure that they all line up right, because we don't want to make mistakes. Next, we're going to draw the baseline of the side view, and it's going to carry us into the front view. Straight across like that. Next, we do our vertical measurements. we need a 1/2 inch, and we need an inch from the bottom. Nice and simple. Let's bring it over to the next place where we have an intersection, which is here, and we can measure those across. Okay, so now we have to look at the side view, and I just noticed we are going to need this hidden geometry piece right here. So let's go ahead and do the side view in darkly so that we can see what we're keeping. We can also see where some patterns start to emerge in terms of where slopes are occurring. So here's this one. That's right here. And then this one back here is hidden. Just like that. Next, we want to make sure we've got this piece of hidden geometry. And I think that's everything that's hidden in the side view. So now we're going to pencil everything in more darkly so we know what we're keeping. While I'm penciling things in darkly, I'm going to go ahead and do the top view as well. And now for the front view. We see that it's 1.5 inches wide again. We've got all the measurements here, we just have to copy them over. The tricky part might be finding parallel lines, and for that you just have to kind of eyeball the edge of your ruler against another vertical. Once you've got one, you can measure the rest. Probably safer. Remember, in the front view there is hidden geometry that goes from here to here, which is a more shallow angle than we're used to. And I'm going to go ahead and do that in darkly. And then we can fill in the rest. Using my eraser now, I'm going to go ahead and clean up my drawing a little bit. Next, labeling and dimensioning. There you go. Please note that you should always try to make your dimensions as consistent as possible with the isometric drawing, because that way everything is consistent and you can sort of verify that all your dimensions are correct according to what I gave you. Please remember that this piece of hidden geometry right here needs to be included in the side view. If you skip that, you will be leaving your viewer a little bit confused about what's happening back here when they're looking at it from the side, because remember, they're not getting this piece of information from this view or from this view necessarily. Something else could be going on here that they're not seeing. So you want to make sure that you include that dashed line that goes from a 1/2 inch up to the bottom in the side view. Best of luck.